Hello everyone, this is Diane. I'm back to work on the retro Christmas journals. I got a lot done on this one yesterday. I'm not quite done adding things to the signatures. I do want to try to add some jingle bells. I have these vintage bells from 1980. I'd like to add some of those to the ruffles. And there may be some other things that I want to do to it, but it's pretty much done, except for sewing it in. So I'm going to work on this one right now. So I'm going to set the cover aside, get it out of the way. And I have sewn on the laces on the edges, and I've added the fabric flips and clusters. So let's just work on one at a time. And I've got prep work done. So here I am going to add a pocket. Like that. Just trying to decide if I want to do something else to that cardstock. Maybe I should emboss it. I think that would look nice, so I'm going to wait on that. My big shot's in the other room. I'll just emboss that piece. And here, this is a piece of the ephemera that goes with the retro kit, and it's from the digital shop is Just Digital Papers, and I will link this kit below. So this is just a large journaling card. I'm going to glue it down as a journaling spot. I also have some ephemera pieces from, I think it's Allegra Studio. These retro type of images. I'll have to find something to put down here to make it look, wait, how about this? Maybe with something else behind it. I'll work on that. We have this pocket. We did this in the Tag Tuesday video. That is a paper coaster, just the top layer of it. So it's very napkin-like. And then I have these little tags stuck inside. So I'm just going to glue this down, and it can be a tuck behind it. Hopefully you got to see my estate sale haul yesterday, which was today as I'm filming this. I went to the estate sale this morning, and it was an awesome estate sale. I didn't get a ton of stuff, but I got a lot of old sewing patterns, some binders, and some other really cool things. Some stationery that was free, which is really cool. Awesome stationery. Here's a vintage Christmas card. I'm just going to tuck in behind, but I'm going to wait for it to dry. So I'm going to paper clip this back on. And I went ahead and added this pocket. Whoops. Didn't wait long enough for this one, I think. There we go. Because I did a video showing making this type of a pocket in the other journal. So, and I added this from the Just Digital Papers journal kit that I'm using. And this I got last year. That might be from Kay and May, I'm not sure. But there was a bunch of telegrams, Christmas telegrams. And it is a tight squeeze in these pockets. I am going to trim that. Got to make it a little easier, but I definitely wanted to use these. So I'm making it work. That's better. And then I just folded the bottom of that up. This one had, okay, she goes on that side. It's one of those Allegra, I think. So I just have a bunch of retro ladies and girls just to use as embellishments because they're awfully fun. So anyway, I don't get to go to very many estate sales, as I said. I don't hear about them. I don't know how to learn about them, but I follow one on Facebook, one of the people that goes around and does them. And so I always get notifications when she's having one, but if they're not right here in the valley, I don't go. I have some anxiety, and so I don't go very far afield by myself. And I don't know other people that like to go to these things. So if I see one coming up in the valley, Sayre, Athens, or Waverly, those are the three towns right here, right close together, then I get excited because I know I get to go to that one. So earlier this week she posted that there would be one in Athens, and it would be Thursday, and she waits till Wednesday night to give the address. So I found out the address last night, and after my chiropractor appointment, which was 8:15 this morning, I used my phone, GPS on my phone, to help me find the address. It's in Athens, Pennsylvania, but it's, you know, just outside of town. But it was easy to find. But because I went there right after my chiropractor appointment, I was a little bit early, which was okay. There were people waiting outside when I got there. So I waited with them. And so that's how I got to be the first one to get to the patterns. And I don't know if I'll go back. I could go back. Most of the pages, digital pages, I printed something on the other side, but one or two of them I didn't. I'm going to stencil this. And I know you watched me stencil on the other one, but it doesn't take long. So we're just going to do it quickly. Because I didn't take a lot of time to look. It was a tiny little house and lots of people in it. And the sewing room was very small, and there were lots of ladies wanting to look around in there. So I got the patterns and a couple other things that you would see if you saw the video yesterday. And then I got out of that room and let others have more freedom in there. So, you know, I could go back and see what's there. I have kind of a busy day tomorrow. And I wasn't even going to go upstairs, just because there were so many people and I had what I wanted. I figured I would be happy with just this. But I couldn't find anybody to take my money when I was ready to go. Which was okay. I mean, I'm sure they're just swamped. So I figured, well, I don't know where she is. And so I might as well just go upstairs while I'm waiting. And there it is. So I went upstairs and I found a few things to add to my pile up there that I was very happy with. So it all worked out. I hope that you, if you bought this journal, I hope that you would feel like you could write on this page. I don't want to make it too busy, but I would write on it. And here I'm going to add a stamp. Oh, I think I'm going to use this one. I'm just going to go until I reach my 45-minute limit. And I hope you're crafting along with me. If you are, tell me what you're working on. Oh, I wanted to do this in black. That's okay. It shows up. I guess I'll do the Merry Christmas one in black. This is a Tim Holtz set that I believe I got at a flea market or in a Happy Mail. I know I didn't buy it in a store. At least I don't think I did. I've never used it before. And I don't know how old it is. 2011, so that's not a new one. So I don't know if I will do more stamping in the first journal or not. I'll just do a flip through and see if I think it needs anything else. And I'm just going to, you can see a little bit where the stamping shows through. It's not as much on this as it was in the other book, but, and normally I don't, that doesn't bother me, but I just decided to cover those things up. So this is a vintage gift tag. Do not open until December 25th. And this can be, well, I think I want to make it a pocket, not a tuck spot. And I have these little tags that came out of a Christmas pad of paper from Hobby Lobby. So there's a whole sheet of these kind of vintage advertisement tags. So they fit in there nicely. And up at the top, I will add some washi tape. Every day this week, today's Thursday as I'm making this video, I dressed warmly in the morning because it was cool. And then I ended up having to change my shirt because it got quite warm. So today I put on a short sleeve cotton shirt, like one of my summer shirts, and just put a lightweight sweater, like a cardigan type of sweater over it. And figured when it got warm I could just take the sweater off, but I've been chilly all day. And it is, it's almost 2 o'clock, and I wasn't getting warm, so this time I went from dressing warm to changing into, dressing cool and changing into something warmer. I think it's been pretty warm for the month of October, warmer than typical for my area. But now we're into November. This is a 1958 Christmas seal for tuberculosis. I'm just going to add one of these ladies. I used more of the children, the little girls, in the other journal because it has little girls on the front. But this one has ladies on the front, and I just want it to be a retro. It's not like a theme beyond retro, mid-century. But I am using more lady images than girl images, but there will be girl images in here too. And then I have this adorable little Christmas card. That I'm just going to paper clip to the edge of the page. Here I'm going to stamp an ice skate, one of the Tim Holtz blueprint ones, patent ones. This just looks like the ice skate, the pair of ice skates that I had as a teenager. We had a pond, our pond and my grandfather's pond, and he was across the road from us. And we could skate on the ponds. What fun. This is a piece of Hallmark stationery. Nope, American Greetings. I got some packages of this, I don't know, probably a year ago or so at Salvation Army, which we don't even have anymore. How can they take away our one and only thrift store? My daughter-in-law said she heard that they were going to reopen in another location, but I don't know if that's true. Their property was sold, so they had to close the store. So it bothers me more that I don't have a place to donate stuff, because I didn't buy much there. It's not a great thrift store. Like the people on Thrifty Thursdays, they go to all these thrift stores and they find really awesome stuff, but I very rarely found anything that I wanted at Salvation Army, but once in a while I did. So that's just a piece of green foiled cardstock I punched, and I'm going to add some stamps and another one of those tuberculosis seals, one of the Christmas seals. There's Santa Claus in the chimney on that stamp, just in case you can't see them very well. I'll tell you what they are. And this one is a train stuck to my finger. Maybe I'll just put this, it's printable, of a milk bottle cap. Is this too big? That might be too big. No, that's just right. I just didn't want it to be white on the other side. You can see just a hint of red around it. This is a piece of wrapping paper that I had glued to cardstock last year. I'm just going to cut that out and glue it down on this flap. I'm probably embellishing way more than I need to, but I have so many supplies. I'm trying to use up as many supplies as I can. And I only get to use my Christmas stamps once a year, so I want to use some of those. I plan on making fewer Christmas journals than I normally do. I just want to get back to all the other journals I have on my list. Line him up there. Put the glue up on the other side of that line. It just barely fits in there. I have this silver doily. I did trim off the top and the bottom so they're flat, but I didn't want them sticking out. So I'm just going to add the silver doily. And here I already added the fabric flip. This is a piece of old tablecloth. And I'm going to trim this so it will fit on the page. My never-ending Christmas list. And then just glue that down. I went ahead and did this pocket already because you saw me no, you did not see me do that in another video. It's a red metallic foil cardstock, and I punched the top with a border punch and added a little strip of white cardstock behind it. And glued on some of those 1958 Christmas seals. And I sewed it. That's why I did it without you, because I sewed it on. And this was thumbtacked to something. You can see where the thumbtack was. But I got it in a bunch of cards when I bought some stuff at a flea market. I tucked that in there. I just love those old Christmas cards. Sewed that cluster on. This is going to require a little bit of work for this one. So I have this cut and folded, and I'm going to glue it down as a little bit of a pocket here, and you can open it up, and I'm going to put some paper to write on in there, but I want to decorate it with this. And what we're going to do with this is stamp on it, and let's see, this is what we're going to do. I embossed those bells and then sewed sequins on it. I put a little paper clip because these are cardstock, so they don't stay down flat. Maybe they will eventually once they've been pressed into the book. But I used one of those tiny Tim Holtz paper clips that I always forget I have. So that's what we're doing. I have some Jingle Bell stamps, and I seem to have lost one, and I need it. They're very sticky on the back, so it probably got stuck to something. See, I have this one, but I don't have the little one. I didn't use this one because it's too big. Well, I guess I'll just emboss this one for now, and I could add, instead of the bell, I could add the sprigs of evergreen. I'll just have to use 2 different colors. So the problem is I can't find my embossing ink. I may have just gotten rid of it because it was well past its prime. So I have to order some more or go to the craft store. But I do have some pigment ink pads that I got in a Happy Mail not too long ago. And pigment inks are inks that stay wet longer than the dye inks. So you can emboss with them. So I chose the yellow to emboss the gold. Let me see if I have a green one. Yeah, there's a green one. Because you will be able to see the color of the ink. They're not, these are inexpensive pads, and embossing pads do work better. So you want to use a color that will go with the powders that you're using. I'll have to go get, I have my gold powder here, and I need a green. This is actually the Distress Embossing Glaze, which you can see through. And it's kind of a light green, but the dark green will show through it, so I think that'll look nice. Let's try it. Oh boy. Spam. So I'm just going to do some stamping of bells. I wish I could find that little one. And I'll work kind of quickly so that I get the powder on there before it dries. I'll just try 3. I can always add more if I want to. So here's my embossing powder. I put it on a piece of paper that's folded so I can easily dump it back into the jar. And heat it. And I want to leave space for sequins. Don't want to fill it in completely. It kind of reminds me of the Seeker in Harry Potter. A little ball that they play using Quidditch. Looks like the tiny ball with the wings on it, especially that one. Actually, the snitch, that's what it's called. The seeker is the person who seeks for the snitch. The golden snitch. Now, I don't know if I'll do the whole thing in this video, probably not, but I have my needle already threaded, and I have some sequins. Look at this jar. I bought this years ago at a yard sale, so those are all vintage sequins and spangles. So these are newer. I don't even remember where I got those, but I pulled out some of the older ones. So I'm just going to pick a spot and put my needle up through there. And I will get a sequin. Whoops, didn't mean to pour out that many. And I feel a little awkward in my fingers, more than normal, because my nails are too long. Because it was, as I mentioned in a previous video, it was time to get them done. and I cut my finger. Finger still has a band-aid on it, but it's getting better. And they would have to, it was right there next to the nail that I cut it. And I would have to soak my finger in acetone to get the gel powder off. And can't do that with a deep cut in your finger. It's smart. So anyway, I'm past due to get my nails done. So my nails are too long. I'm having a terrible time typing on my computer with these nails. So I just feel awkward trying to do anything little like this. But you see, oh, I did that wrong. I came up with my knot on the back side and I put the sequin on it, and then I just went down right next to the sequin. So now I have to come back up again and add the next sequin. And I'll just put it back down. Oh, I don't want purple. So I've got that little cluster. I can just move my needle down to the next spot. This is going to be glued down, so you won't see any of that. I'll put this fancy crystal-y one. It's all pleated. I can get my needle through the hole. I think maybe I will add a sequin on top of that because it is kind of clear. So I want it to show up. Do another cluster here. Some of the sequins, the hole is punched, but the piece is still attached, and it's hard to maneuver your needle without poking that piece out. There, I got it. They didn't punch it completely off on some of them. It's a little flap there. But this, the bells and the sequins just made me think of retro Christmas from my youth. And I don't use my sequins enough, and I thought Christmas is the best time to do it. Got this diamond shape. I don't know if I want to use it, but I don't think it, I think it looks out of place, so. I have this little wreath shape too, but there's no hole. I don't want to use that. And I have a green flower. I think I could use that and put a, I'm going to put a little red sequin here before I move on down to put the flower. Oh, I've got some little green ones. Let's try a green one. Maybe I will finish adding the sequins to this. Can't get through the hole on that one. Just gonna wrap this needle around the threads here, and it'll be glued down. I'll make sure I put glue on the threads to keep those sequins secure. See how pretty that looks? So I will glue that to that and put some paper on the inside that can be written on. Alright, I'm going to say goodbye for this video, and I will finish this pocket. I don't know if I'll come back to do any more embellishing, but you'll be seeing the finished journals pretty soon. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.